What is shutter speed in regards to a camera? Shutter is one of the 3 ways you can control the brightness or darkness of an image, also known as its exposure. Those 3 things include shutter, aperture, and ISO. To keep it simple, shutter speed is how long your camera takes a picture for, how long it lets light into the sensor. Now there are a few things that go with this. The slower your shutter speed is, meaning the more time your shutter is open, the more light is going to go into your camera sensor, so your image will be a little bit brighter. The faster your shutter speed is, the darker the image will be. Now hang with me. Motion blur goes with this. If you've ever seen those really cool pictures of cars with their red lights behind them making a trail, or star trails at night, that is because the camera did a long exposure, meaning the shutter was open for a few seconds or minutes. The other end of that though is if you're photographing something that is fast moving and you want it to be a non-blurry image that is sharp, you need a fast shutter speed. So people that photograph Formula 1 events have to have a really fast shutter speed, such as 1/1200. If they were to have a slow shutter speed, such as 1/50, then they would have a blurry image of the car because the car is moving so fast. This is where you can get creative. Some people prefer to have portraits that have a little bit of motion blur in there. So instead of shooting at 1/250 or higher to get a nice, sharp, clean image with no blur, they might shoot a portrait at 1/50 because it's a little bit slower, the shutter is open a little bit longer, so you can get a little bit of movement in there, which leads to the blur. To keep it simple though, just remember these 2 points. A fast shutter speed will darken your image. A slow shutter speed will brighten your image. And lastly, the higher or faster your shutter speed is, the less motion blur will be in your image. The slower your shutter speed is, the more motion blur will be there. Toodles.